Hello, Chapter 22 is about the modal verbs. Willkommen zu Abschnitt 22 und hier geht es die Modalverben. Here it is about the modal verbs. Now let's have a look at the sentence structure of sentences in which we use modal verbs. Okay. After that, I will show you each modal verb and its translation from German to English. So whenever we use modal verbs, there are words like to want, must, shall, and so on that are modal verbs. So whenever we use modal verbs, in the first position we put the subject, then comes the modal verb. You have to conjugate the modal verb, and then the second verb that you are using in the sentence, it stays in its infinitive form and it has to take the last position. It comes always at the very end. This is the sentence structure of a normal main clause using modal verbs in it. So let's have a look at an example. Will morgen Fußball spielen. It means he wants to play soccer tomorrow. Now the sentence structure with modal verbs in English is different from the German one. But here you see, most of the time we use a second verb when we use a modal verb. He wants to play, he wants to learn, he wants to do this and that. Right? And it's the same in German, but just the word order is different. In English, you also keep the second verb in its infinitive form, and you conjugate the modal verb. It's the same in German. So you conjugate the word wollen. Wollen means to want. Now, if you conjugate it, it's irregular. Will means he wants. It does not mean he will do something. It's not about the future tense, not to mix that up. Okay, will means he wants. Has nothing to do with the future. Or here in this sentence, okay, we're talking about the future, but I could also say it in the present tense, and I can say, ich will Fußball spielen, I want to play soccer. Okay, so it's just the conjugation. And here we have another sentence. Jana kann Salsa tanzen. Jana can dance salsa. Okay, again, this is from the modal verb können. It is the infinitive form is können. You conjugate it, so you say Jana kann, and then the second verb stays in its infinitive form, which means you don't conjugate it, and it stays at the end of the sentence. Okay, now let's have a look at the modal verbs. Wollen is one of them. Okay, let's have a look first of all at wollen. Wollen means to want, and it's irregular. Okay, so if you look at the conjugation, it's ich will, du willst, sie es will, wir wollen, ihr wollt, und sie wollen. Okay, again, it has nothing to do with the English will. Okay, it just means to want something. So here, an example, Jenny will essen. It means Jenny wants to eat. Jenny wants to eat. Okay, then the second sentence, wir wollen nach Berlin fliegen, and it means we want to fly to Berlin. The next sentence, der Arzt will Urlaub machen, and it means the doctor wants to go on vacation. So here you see, we always have the second verb not conjugated at the very end of the sentence. This is the sentence structure. The next slide, möchten. Möchten means would like to. It's the formal way to say, like for example, if you want to order something in a restaurant, it's nicer to say ich möchte instead of saying ich will, right? I would like to instead of I want. So let's have a look at the conjugation. Ich möchte, du möchtest, sie es möchte, wir möchten, ihr möchtet, sie möchten. Okay, this is the conjugation. So Herr Berg möchte schlafen. It means Mr. Berg or Mr. Berg would like to sleep. The next one, sie möchte ein Buch schreiben. It means she would like to write a book. And wir möchten morgen früh joggen. It means we would like to go jogging early tomorrow. Okay. So you see, again, it's always, the second verb always comes in the last position of the sentence, and it stays not, you don't conjugate it. Okay, all you have to conjugate is the modal verb. Then the next modal verb is sollen. Sollen means shall in English. So it is usually to give orders or to give somebody a task or to tell somebody what to do. So for that we use sollen. We also use it in questions if you want to ask somebody, for example, if you want to make a suggestion, if you want to say, shall we go to the movies, for example. We would also use it in this case in German. Okay? So here let's have a look at the conjugation. Ich soll, du sollst, er, sie, es soll, wir sollen, ihr sollt und sie sollen. So here, du sollst deine Hausaufgaben machen. It means you shall do your homework. The next one, ihr sollt eure Zimmer aufräumen. It means you shall clean up your room. Actually, it is your rooms. Yeah. Peter soll leiser sprechen. It means Petra shall speak more quiet. Okay, so this is kind of orders that we are giving here. You shall do this and that. For that we need the word sollen. The next modal verb is dürfen. Dürfen means to be allowed to or may. Okay, so either we ask for permission and use this word, or if we want to prohibit something, for example, then we would also use, it's not like we would use dürfen, it's not allowed to, for example. Dürfen is irregular. So here the conjugation, ich darf, du darfst, er, sie, es darf, wir dürfen, ihr dürft und sie dürfen. Ich darf das nicht machen. It means I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to do that. The next one, du darfst jetzt gehen. It means you're allowed to go now, or you may go now. Then the next one, that's a good sentence. Ihr dürft jeden Tag Kuchen essen, which means you're allowed to eat cake every day. Okay, you're allowed to. Ihr dürft jeden Tag Kuchen essen. Okay. The next slide is müssen. Müssen means must or have to. It's also irregular. So let's have a look at the conjugation. Ich muss, du musst, er, sie, es muss, wir müssen, ihr müsst und sie müssen. Hans muss öfter lesen. Means Hans must read more often, or he has to read more often. Sie müssen besser zuhören. They have to listen better, or they have to listen more closely, let's say. And die Kinder müssen jetzt essen. It means the children have to eat now. So this is the word müssen, must or have to. The next modal verb is können. Können means to can. It's also irregular. It's ich kann, du kannst, er, sie, es kann, wir können, ihr könnt und sie können. Okay, so we use the word können or to can also to express talents. Okay, auch Talente auszudrücken. So if you want to say she can sing very well, for example, we would also use können for that. Okay, ich kann Klavier spielen. I can play the piano. Du kannst gut singen. You can sing very well. Kann seine Hausaufgaben machen, means he can do his homework. And the next one here, Andreas kann schon schreiben. It means Andreas can write already. Okay, so we basically use it the same way as in English. And that was the chapter about the modal verbs. Please keep the sentence structure in mind. That is very important to keep the second verb always at the end of the sentence in its infinitive form. I hope you enjoyed this chapter and see you in the next one. Tschüss!